Chapter 3490. The three ancestors were all wrong. Lin Moyu was well aware that because of the King of the Boundary Seas question, he had borrowed the identity of the green-robed old man to intimidate them. That's why these great Tao realm beings were willing to tell him these things. Otherwise, who did he think he was? There were too many geniuses in the world, and no matter how talented he was, it didn't count for much. They might be polite usually, but when it really mattered, he wouldn't count for anything. In this world, after all, it was still about who had the bigger fist. If your fist wasn't big, no matter how loud your voice was, it wouldn't matter. After discussing the great changes in heaven and earth, listening to the great Tao realm beings chat, Lin Moyu started to speak less, mainly listening. From the words of the great Tao realm beings, he gained a lot. This feast was very comfortable for Lin Moyu. He was stuffed with a large amount of information, and many of his previous questions were answered. He learned what the great changes in heaven and earth really were, and understood why the great Tao realm beings had been lying low in the origin continent for so many years. He even guessed that the three ancestors and others here might not be their true bodies, but avatars. It made sense. With so many powers in the outer great Tao, why were only they able to come in while others couldn't? This explanation was the most reasonable. If they weren't strong, how could they have the qualifications to peak at the Tao Lord realm? As for the 5 continents, the various forces in the outer great Tao were already thinking about how to divide them up. Lin Moyu didn't care how they divided them. As long as they didn't provoke him, he couldn't be bothered to care. He pondered the words left by the green-robed old man. The green-robed old man wanted him to dominate the great changes in heaven and earth, but didn't say how to dominate them. If looking purely from the perspective of laying out plans, he definitely couldn't compare to the 3 ancestors and the Beast Emperor. But the green-robed old man's words couldn't be wrong. If so, then dominating the great changes in heaven and earth wasn't just about laying out plans. Lin Moyu suddenly thought of a possibility.
Could it be that the 3 ancestors were wrong? The essence of their plans is actually quite similar, all about occupying more territory. What if the condition for dominating the great changes in heaven and earth isn't about territory at all?
Lin Moyu thought of the great Tao rewards.
It should be viewed from the perspective of the great Tao. Just like dealing with the outer realm gods, the one who gets the most rewards must be the one who kills the outer realm gods, because that's the essence. No matter how many years you trap them, it's useless if you can't kill them. The great Tao looks at the essence, not the surface. From this perspective, the one who truly dominates the great changes in heaven and earth should be the one who triggers them. To trigger the great changes in heaven and earth, there needs to be an opportunity, or rather, it's about clearing obstacles for the great changes in heaven and earth, creating sufficient conditions.
As he thought deeper, Lin Moyu understood more and more. He grasped the key to the problem and roughly knew how to truly trigger the great changes in heaven and earth. The light in his eyes grew brighter.
If I'm not mistaken, the opportunity to trigger the great changes in heaven and earth is at the bottom of the Boundary Sea. But before that, there are some preparations to be made. At least, we need to clean up the surface things first, and then improve our strength a bit.
Lin Moyu had his own train of thought and roughly knew what he should do. He was 70% sure that what he thought was correct, and that the 3 ancestors and others had been on the wrong path all these years. The 4 great Tao realm beings chatted from ancient times to the present. They had lived for too long and knew too many things. On the contrary, Zamoon, due to her long sleep, had missed a lot of information. Most of the time, she was the one asking questions. The main respondent was still the 3 ancestors. After all, they knew the most, so naturally had to say more. From their fragmentary words, Lin Moyu also learned about some situations in the outer great Tao. The outer great Tao was equally complex, with conflicts and unrest, which also confirmed the words of the green-robed old man. Lin Moyu knew he would have to set foot in the outer great Tao sooner or later. If there was fighting and killing there, he would quite enjoy it. After chatting for a while, Zamoon finally thought to let everyone taste the delicacies. The immortal banquet was naturally mainly about eating, but these great Tao realm beings had turned it into a symposium. The exquisite snacks melted in the mouth, followed by a wonderful taste exploding inside the body, reaching the soul. Lin Moyu felt his soul become clearer, as if a force was removing impurities from his soul. But this feeling only lasted for an instant. His soul was already pure enough with no impurities to remove.
This snack has the effect of purifying the soul, and unlike pills, it doesn't have side effects. Good stuff.
Lin Moyu said to himself. The Beast Emperor was not stingy with praise.
The cuisine of the Lotus sect is unparalleled, whether in the outer Great Tao or here. No one can compare.
In the previous conversation, Lin Moyu had learned that the ancient Lotus Holy Lands force in the outer Great Tao was called the Lotus sect, which was also an extremely ancient and powerful force. However, in their words, the Beast Emperor and others didn't seem too wary, indicating that the forces behind them were not weaker than the Lotus sect. Zamun explained,
This isn't the outer Great Tao. It's extremely difficult to make soul food here. In the ancient Lotus Holy Land, we can only make one piece every 10,000 years.
The
one piece
she referred to was the piece in Lin Moyu's hand, not even palm-sized, yet it took 10,000 years to make. The three ancestors also said,
The soul food of the Lotus sect is indeed excellent. It's been many years since I've tasted it.
The king of the Boundary Sea chuckled.
If you want, you'll have the chance to eat it in the future.
He was naturally referring to going to the outer Great Tao to find the Lotus sect, which wasn't a difficult thing. Zamun looked at Lin Moyu.
What does fellow Taoist Lin think?
Lin Moyu said,
The soul food has the effect of purifying the soul. It's good stuff.
Zamun's eyes glowed slightly.
Fellow Taoist Lin's soul is indeed powerful. Your future achievements will be limitless.
Not everyone could eat soul food. Lin Moyu being able to digest it so quickly indicated that his soul was extremely strong. When she saw him in the soul void before, Zamun felt that Lin Moyu's soul was extraordinary. Now it seemed indeed very strong. The three ancestors chuckled.
He can even master the great Tao essence fire. When he goes to the soul void in the future, he will certainly be unstoppable.
Zamun said,
If it weren't for fellow Taoist Lin this time, I would have had difficulty returning from the soul void. Fellow Taoist Lin's great Tao essence fire is indeed extraordinary.
The three ancestors said,
Not everyone can master the great Tao essence fire. This old man is very envious looking at it. Unfortunately, it's not meant for me.
The Beast Emperor also chimed in.
Indeed, what's not meant for us can't be forced. If forced, one might perish.
At their level, they had understood many truths of the Great Tao. Some things could be fought for, some things couldn't. They wouldn't act recklessly anymore. Lin Moyu was very modest.
This great Tao essence fire is indeed my opportunity, but fortune and misfortune are intertwined. Who can say for sure? I take each step carefully. The soul void is very dangerous. If not necessary, I don't want to enter it lightly.
The king of the Boundary Sea made an sound.
Indeed, there's no need to rush. Wait until you reach the Great Tao realm before going. However, even with the Great Tao essence fire, don't provoke those few powerful existences in the soul void.
The three ancestors said,
When you reach the Great Tao realm, this old man will give you some information, letting you know which fellows not to provoke in the soul void.
Lin Moyu wasn't polite at all and laughed heartily.
Then many thanks to the three ancestors.
Chapter 3491. This kid must have a grudge against you. Halfway through the ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet, when everyone had tasted most of the delicacies, the ancient Lotus Holy Lord announced the start of the second phase of the banquet. The ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet wasn't just about eating some food. The second phase was a martial arts competition between disciples from various forces. The food at the Immortal Banquet contained powerful energy, and it would take some time to refine after eating. By engaging in a martial arts competition, they could accelerate the absorption and refinement of the consumed food, which was more effective than slowly refining it after returning home. Moreover, this was also a small competition between the major forces, showing the level of the new generation from various sects and holy lands. After the martial arts competition, there would be lectures from the elders of various forces. For those disciples who had just entered the Tao Venerable realm, this was also a small opportunity. The ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet, held once every 10,000 years, would last for several dozen days. Several elders who had previously attended the ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet knew the rules. As soon as the second phase began, people started to come forward. The competition took place on a lotus flower next to the banquet. The lotus flower was covered by a formation, allowing the competing parties to fully display their skills on it. Those who came forward were all outstanding heirs from various forces. They showcased their skills, trying their best to perform in front of their elders. Lin Moyu sat at the highest level, watching the competitions with a calm gaze. The Beast Emperor chuckled.
Young friend Lin, you probably don't think much of this level of competition, do you?
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
It's all right. It's somewhat interesting to occasionally watch children fight.
The enemies Lin Moyu usually faced were often Tao venerables of the 7th level or above, and even great Tao realm beings. This level of competition, in his eyes, was like children playing house. However, he had also come from that stage. Perhaps his own battles back then, in the eyes of beings like the Beast Emperor, were also like playing house. The three ancestors laughed.
After being used to seeing high-quality things, occasionally looking at some rough goods can also be a form of relaxation.
There was no malice in his words, just casual teasing. Zamun said,
After the competition ends, it will be time for lectures. Do you fellow Taoists plan to give one?
The king of the Boundary Sea chuckled.
If we give lectures, would that bunch be able to understand?
The three ancestors laughed.
It's hard to say if others could understand, but young friend Lin would definitely understand.
The Beast Emperor also chimed in.
The key is whether young friend Lin wants to listen or not.
Lin Moyu smiled wryly.
You elders, please stop joking about me. Everyone has their own Tao. Listening too much to others' Tao isn't necessarily a good thing.
Zamun smiled and said,
In our Lotus sect, there's a saying, learn from him, become him, surpass him. What does fellow Taoist Lin think about this?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
The student surpassing the teacher. This saying naturally makes sense, but it doesn't apply to everyone. Most people can learn from him, but it's difficult to become him or surpass him. As cultivators, we should be ourselves, not try to be someone else. I have a saying here too, called the master leads you to the door. Cultivation depends on the individual. Just walk your own path. As long as you can persist in walking it, you'll reach the end sooner or later.
Zamun nodded.
Fellow Taoist Lin must have found his own path, right?
Lin Moyu wasn't modest at all.
This Lin found his path long ago, and has been walking it, never wavering. As for how far I can go, this Lin doesn't know. I can only say that every step this Lin takes is very solid.
He could be modest in other areas, but when it came to his own Tao with Lin Moyu's Tao heart, he couldn't be modest even a bit. If he were modest, it would be disrespectful to his own Tao heart. Zamun said,
It seems fellow Taoist Lin won't be sitting and waiting to listen to lectures.
Fellow Taoist Lin smiled and said,
I may listen or not, as long as I don't take it to heart.
Suddenly, a voice came from below.
This junior boldly requests to seek guidance from Elder Lin.
With this voice, the entire venue suddenly fell silent. The 9th level elders who were still chatting all looked over at once. The 9th level elders discussed among themselves.
It's the Phantom God Holy Son from the 10,000 Scenes Holy Land. What is he trying to do? He said he wants to seek guidance from Elder Lin. Is he referring to the one the Beast Emperor called fellow Taoist Lin? There's no need to guess, it must be him. It seems the Phantom God Holy Son had some conflict with him before. The Phantom God Holy Son is at the 4th level of Tao Venerable, while that fellow Taoist Lin is at the 5th level of Tao Venerable. Although there's a difference in realm, it's not impossible to make up for it. The Phantom God Holy Son is said to be a once in 10,000 years genius. He might indeed be able to fight across realms. The key is, does the 10,000 Scenes Holy Land's Elder agree with the Phantom God Holy Son doing this? They definitely didn't agree. Look at Elder Dream Landscape's face. It's already very unpleasant.
Elder Dream Landscape's face was indeed not looking good. The phantom god Holy Sun's sudden action was completely beyond his expectations. Elder Dream Landscape said in a low voice,
Phantom God Holy Sun, do you know what you're doing?
Lin Moyu was someone who could be called a fellow Taoist by figures like the Beast Emperor and the Three Ancestors, and could sit at the same table with them. Even if he was only at the 5th level of Tao Venerable, his status was already established. The phantom god Holy Sun said loudly,
In response to the Elder's words, this phantom god Holy Sun only wants to seek guidance from Elder Lin, with no ill intentions. Elder Lin's cultivation is above this phantom god Holy Sun's, and I can surely learn a lot from Elder Lin.
With him saying this, Elder Dream Landscape found it hard to say anything. In his heart, he had already cursed the phantom god Holy Sun countless times. If this matter wasn't handled well, their 10,000 scenes Holy Land would offend Lin Moyu. For such a mysterious and unpredictable figure, it was naturally better not to offend him if possible. Gu Hanjing's cold voice sounded.
Phantom God Holy Sun, are you asking for a beating?
The phantom god Holy Sun didn't respond to Gu Hanjing, but spoke again.
Elder Lin, please give me some guidance.
In the upper seating area, the Beast Emperor and others were smiling as they looked at Lin Moyu. The Beast Emperor said,
This kid must have a grudge against you, right?
The Three Ancestors said,
Looking at his eyes, he probably does. This phantom god Holy Sun is narrow-minded and will be hard to achieve great things.
Lin Moyu slowly stood up.
I've been sitting for so long, it's good to move around a bit.
The Beast Emperor laughed heartily.
Is this kid enough for you to move around?
Lin Moyu said.
At least I can move a finger.
He slowly flew out, descending from the upper seating area, heading straight towards the nearby competition platform. His voice was calm.
Come over.
Seeing Lin Moyu come down, the phantom god Holy Sun was obviously very pleased and immediately followed. The two entered the Lotus competition platform, and the formation activated, enveloping the two of them. At this moment, dozens of pairs of eyes in the venue were all fixed on the competition platform. The 9th level elders were very curious to see what abilities Lin Moyu had that made the Beast Emperor and others treat him like this. Only little Mei continued eating, not paying any attention. She knew very well how miserable the phantom god Holy Sun would be. She ate while cultivating to refine the food, her aura steadily rising. On the competition platform, Lin Moyu looked at the phantom god Holy Sun.
You can make your move now.
The phantom god Holy Sun didn't hold back at all.
Then excuse me.
A folded box appeared in his hand. The box opened with a whoosh, turning into hundreds of palm-sized mirrors. The mirrors instantly enlarged, each over 2 meters tall, flying around on the competition platform. The three elders from the 10,000 scenes Holy Land stood up simultaneously. Elder Dream Landscape's face looked extremely unpleasant.
How did the 10,000 phenomena mirror end up in his hands?
Chapter 3492. Is this all you've got? Elder Dream Landscape's face was extremely unpleasant at this moment. His words seemed to be muttering to himself, but were actually inquiring of Elder Phantom Landscape beside him. The 10,000 phenomena mirror was Elder Phantom Landscape's treasure. How did it end up in the Phantom God Holy Sun's hands? Elder Phantom Landscape said with a bitter face,
I gave it to him. The Phantom God Holy Sun originally wanted to dominate this competition, so he asked me for the 10,000 phenomena mirror.
Elder Dream Landscape said in a low voice,
With the Phantom God Holy Sun's ability, he can't possibly control the 10,000 phenomena mirror. If the 10,000 phenomena spirit inside comes out and hurts him, what should we do?
As he spoke, he gestured towards the sky. If Lin Moyu got hurt, would the three ancestors blame the 10,000 scenes Holy Land? And there were the ancient Lotus Holy Land and the Dongfang family. They had just said in public that Lin Moyu was their benefactor. Would they cause trouble for them? Especially now that the ancient Lotus Holy Land had a great Tao realm being, who could be said to be an invincible existence in the southern continent. Elder Dream Landscape said loudly,
Ancient Lotus Holy Lord, the Phantom God Holy Sun mistakenly took the 10,000 phenomena mirror. To be safe, why don't we call off this competition?
The ancient Lotus Holy Lord naturally knew about the 10,000 phenomena mirror, but she was somewhat hesitant. She looked up at the sky, and Zamun's clear voice transmitted down. With Zamun speaking, the ancient Lotus Holy Lord immediately said,
The Ancestor has given her decree. Elder Dream Landscape need not say more.
Elder Dream Landscape noticed that the ancient Lotus Holy Lord's face didn't look too good either, and there was Dongfang Wooding, whose gaze also carried unfriendliness. Gu Song from the cold water Holy Land let out a suppressed, deep laugh.
10,000 scenes Holy Land, well done indeed.
The several elders of the 10,000 scenes Holy Land were getting headaches. They didn't expect the situation to develop to this point so quickly. What level of treasure the 10,000 phenomena mirror was, all the elders present knew clearly. Using an 8th level Dao Venerable treasure against Lin Moyu, who was at the 5th level of Dao Venerable, seemed like bullying in their eyes. And how could the mere Phantom God Holy Sun obtain the 10,000 phenomena mirror? In others' eyes, it was clearly allowed by the 10,000 scenes Holy Land's elders. This account would naturally be settled with the 10,000 scenes Holy Land. Now they could only hope that nothing would happen to Lin Moyu. In the competition arena, Lin Moyu was surrounded by countless mirrors, each reflecting his whole body. He revealed a slight smile at the corner of his mouth.
This treasure is quite interesting.
The Phantom God Holy Sun's voice sounded.
10,000 phenomena suppression.
A high mountain appeared in the mirror, pressing down towards Lin Moyu's reflection. Lin Moyu's body shook slightly, feeling as if he was really being pressed by a mountain, and not just one. There were hundreds of mirrors here, reflecting hundreds of himself, each being pressed by a mountain. The power of these mountains converged together, then all acted on the real Lin Moyu.
The attacks in the mirror will be reflected in reality. The more mirrors there are, the more the attacks can be stacked. This treasure is quite interesting. It's just that the person using it is lacking a bit.
Pressed by hundreds of mountains, Lin Moyu didn't mind at all. These mountains weren't real, but formed by the Phantom God Holy Sun's power. His power determined the weight of the mountains. The Phantom God Holy Sun's power was limited, so the weight of the mountains was also limited. Although it was magnified many times, it was nothing to Lin Moyu. His body trembled slightly, his blood essence roared, and all the mountains pressing on him crumbled instantly. Not just in reality, but the mountains in the mirrors also crumbled. Lin Moyu smiled.
So the attack works like this too. My actions will also be reflected in the mirrors, but my power will be dispersed.
Lin Moyu's power, although dispersed into hundreds of streams, was still enough to shatter the mountains in the mirrors. As the mountains crumbled, the Phantom God Holy Sun let out a muffled groan, obviously not feeling well. He shouted angrily,
10,000 phenomena devour body.
Dragon roars came from the mirrors, and a black divine dragon appeared in the mirror, biting towards Lin Moyu's reflection. The Lin Moyu in the mirror made no movement, as if letting the divine dragon bite him at will. The huge bloody mouth opened, biting on Lin Moyu's body, making a sound like metal striking stone. The divine dragon bit firmly without letting go, but its seemingly sharp teeth couldn't bite through at all.
How is this possible?
Faintly, Lin Moyu heard the Phantom God Holy Sun's voice, filled with disbelief. Lin Moyu treated the divine dragon as nothing.
Do you have any other moves?
The Phantom God Holy Sun shouted angrily again.
10,000 phenomena devour soul.
The divine dragon's eyes in the mirror suddenly shot out divine light, launching an attack on Lin Moyu's soul. But how could Lin Moyu's soul be shaken by someone like him? Lin Moyu was somewhat bored.
Not interesting.
His blood essence roared, golden light flowed like flames on his body, and the divine dragon was instantly burned to ashes. The Phantom God Holy Sun let out another muffled groan, and a drop of blood actually flowed from the mirror. Lin Moyu hadn't moved at all. Yet the phantom god Holy Sun was already injured. This showed how great the difference in their strength was. The phantom god Holy Sun obviously couldn't believe this fact. He shouted angrily again.
10,000 phenomena slaughter God.
A powerful aura rose, and a huge black shadow appeared in the hundreds of mirrors. The black shadow was as tall as the sky, and Lin Moyu was like an infant before it. A huge spear appeared in the black shadow's hand, emitting a terrifying killing intent, stabbing towards Lin Moyu. This time, Lin Moyu finally made a move. He punched towards the mirror in front of him. Following his action, the Lin Moyu in the mirror also punched out, but Lin Moyu's punch was weakened many times, dispersed to each mirror. But the black shadow's attack in the mirror was superimposed together, striking towards Lin Moyu alone. The fist collided with the spear tip, and everyone heard a huge boom. The seemingly sharp spear shattered on the spot, and the mirror in front of Lin Moyu was also smashed to pieces by one punch. Cracks appeared on the other mirrors, and more blood flowed out. This was the phantom god Holy Sun's blood. Lin Moyu shook his head lightly.
What a pity. Your strength doesn't match this treasure.
The phantom god Holy Sun shouted angrily.
You're talking nonsense. I'll fight you to the death.
He shouted coldly.
10,000 phenomena unite.
Whoosh, all the mirrors merged together again, including the one just shattered by Lin Moyu, which was restored to its original state. The united mirror was tens of meters tall, towering in the competition arena. The phantom god Holy Sun appeared in the mirror, his hand forming a seal, his expression somewhat ferocious.
10,000 phenomena heaven collapse.
Whoosh, countless rifts were torn in the space of the competition arena, the space inside torn to shreds. The 10,000 phenomena mirror tilted 3 degrees towards Lin Moyu, and the spatial rifts instantly rushed towards him. Lin Moyu stood there motionless, letting the spatial rifts engulf him. In the face of spatial rifts of this level, even a 6th-level Dao Venerable could only run away. But for Lin Moyu, spatial rifts of this level were nothing. In the mirror, the phantom god Holy Sun's expression was ferocious as he said in a low voice,
Die.
Lin Moyu stood in the spatial rifts, unmoved and unharmed.
Is this all you've got?
While the phantom god Holy Sun was stunned, Lin Moyu had a thought, and the power of the space great Dao spread out. The spatial rifts were quickly mended, returning to normal. The phantom god Holy Sun screamed.
This is impossible. How can this be possible?
Chapter 3493. This is establishing authority. Lin Moyu just stood there, from beginning to end only throwing one punch. All of the phantom god Holy Sun's techniques using the 10,000 phenomena mirror were easily neutralized. Lin Moyu even yawned, his demeanor clearly showing boredom. His attitude, in the phantom god Holy Sun's eyes, was blatant mockery. The phantom god Holy Sun's eyes were bloodshot, seeming on the verge of madness. Elder Dream Landscape said in a low voice,
Phantom god Holy Sun, that's enough. Come back quickly.
He knew they couldn't drag this on any longer. If it continued, the situation might spiral out of control. The phantom god Holy Sun seemed not to hear Elder Dream Landscape's words, his expression becoming increasingly ferocious. Lin Moyu's gaze swept over, penetrating the formation and falling on Elder Dream Landscape.
Don't interfere. Just watch the show.
Lin Moyu's voice was flat and calm, but Elder Dream Landscape trembled all over. He knew this was Lin Moyu warning him. He told him to watch the show, naturally referring to a monkey show. The phantom god Holy Sun had already been treated as a monkey by Lin Moyu. Elder Dream Landscape realized that the situation had actually been out of his control from the very beginning. When Lin Moyu stepped onto the stage, the initiative in this matter had already fallen into Lin Moyu's hands. Only when Lin Moyu said to stop could it stop. If Lin Moyu didn't stop, they had no way to intervene. Lin Moyu's meaning was very clear. I suggested you change your heir, you refused, so I'll help you change him. The phantom god Holy Sun, being ignored by Lin Moyu, gradually became crazed in his eyes.
I'll kill you.
Lin Moyu, with disdain and an extremely contemptuous attitude, said,
"You don't have that ability." Ah,
The phantom god Holy Sun roared.
10,000 phenomena collapse.
Countless cracks appeared on the mirror, and this space also shattered along with it. Lin Moyu sighed.
Why can't you learn? It's useless.
He didn't make any movement at all. The power of the space great Tao spread out, like a large hand, instantly smoothing out the shattered space. As a result, the space remained intact, but the cracks on the surface of the 10,000 phenomena mirror couldn't recover. The phantom god Holy Sun screamed incessantly. He was now inside the 10,000 phenomena mirror, and his body was cracking along with the mirror. Blood seeped out from the cracks, covering the entire 10,000 phenomena mirror. Nourished by the phantom god Holy Sun's blood, the 10,000 phenomena mirror seemed to come alive. A small blood figure emerged from the blood light. The blood figure kept changing in the blood light, sometimes human, sometimes bird, sometimes beast, seeming to have countless forms. Lin Moyu smiled.
So there's a spirit hidden inside. But this spirit seems a bit fierce. I'm afraid it's a malevolent spirit.
Once a spirit loses its rationality, it becomes a malevolent spirit. Malevolent spirits only know killing, and may even turn on their master. If the master is powerful enough, they can suppress and seal the malevolent spirit. But if the master is weak and accidentally releases the malevolent spirit, things get interesting. At this moment, the malevolent spirit of the 10,000 phenomena mirror was turning on the phantom god Holy Sun. Lin Moyu watched like a spectator, showing no intention of intervening. Elder Phantom Landscape said in a low voice,
The malevolent spirit is about to come out. It's going to devour the phantom god Holy Sun. We need to find a way to stop it.
Elder Dream Landscape shook his head.
We can't stop it.
Elder Phantom Landscape said,
Are we just going to watch the phantom god Holy Sun be devoured? Where should we put our faces?
Elder Dream Landscape laughed bitterly.
How do you want to stop it? You didn't stop the phantom god Holy Sun when he proposed to seek guidance earlier. What's the use of saying these things now? Our faces? We have no face left. Didn't you see the looks from the ancient lotus Holy Lord Gu Tsang and Dong Fang Wuding just now? Our holy land might be in big trouble this time. If it were just them, it would be fine. Don't forget there are several untouchable existences up there.
Elder Phantom Landscape's gaze was complex.
We have people up there too.
Elder Dream Landscape said,
It's true we have people, but can they come down? What's the difference between not being able to come down and not having anyone?
Elder Phantom Landscape was at a loss for words, not knowing what to say. Elder Dream Landscape said,
I know you think highly of the phantom god Holy Sun, but this time you really misjudged.
Elder Phantom Landscape said in a low voice,
Do you know why I think highly of the phantom god Holy Sun? Because he's my great-grandson.
As the words fell, Elder Phantom Landscape's entire body turned into nothingness. Elder Dream Landscape inwardly exclaimed,
Not good.
In an instant, Elder Phantom Landscape appeared at the edge of the competition platform. He crashed through the formation and rushed in. He was going to save the phantom god Holy Sun. Lin Moyu spoke.
Who told you to come?
He raised his finger and lightly pointed.
Body explosion.
With a huge boom, Elder Phantom Landscape's body exploded violently, instantly turning into powder. A piece of flesh in Lin Moyu's hand also turned to dust. This flesh came from Withering and Flourishing Elder's avatar. Elder Phantom Landscape died on the spot. With just one finger, Lin Moyu had instantly killed a 9th-level Dao Venerable Elder. Everyone was stunned, fear appearing on their faces. This was a 9th-level Dao Venerable Elder, yet he was instantly killed without even a chance to react. How could Lin Moyu, a mere 5th-level Dao Venerable, achieve this level? What happened before their eyes had completely shattered their understanding.
What a terrifying fellow. A 9th-level Dao Venerable, killed just like that. No wonder the Beast Emperor and others call him a fellow Taoist. His strength can no longer be measured by realm levels. We need to be careful in the future. Don't provoke this harbinger of death.
Elder Dream Landscape was now trembling all over. An old friend he had known for hundreds of thousands of years was killed without a sound. Watching this scene, his face was extremely pale. Then he looked at Elder Fire Landscape beside him. As one of the 3 elders of the 10,000 Scenes Holy Land, Elder Fire Landscape was also pale now. He hadn't said a word from beginning to end, and now he was too scared to speak. The longer one lives, the more one fears death. Especially now, with the great changes in heaven and earth about to come, they all had a chance to take that step towards eternal life. How could they be willing to die now? Lin Moyu inconspicuously put away a piece of Elder Phantom Landscape's flesh, still smiling as he looked at the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror. In the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror, a malevolent spirit had awakened and was devouring the Phantom God Holy Sun. The Phantom God Holy Sun screamed incessantly, his voice terrified. To Lin Moyu's ears, it was like a beautiful melody. He had heard too many screams. Back then, the screams of countless beings were ignored by him. What did a mere Phantom God Holy Sun count for? Any being, in Lin Moyu's eyes, was no different. The Phantom God Holy Sun was not much nobler than a dog. On the upper lotus platform, the Beast Emperor laughed softly.
The young friend is establishing his authority.
The 3 ancestors snorted lightly.
This little fox is not easy to deal with. Back then, Withering and Flourishing Elder was foolish enough to provoke him, resulting in years of planning being ruined in an instant.
The king of the Boundary Sea said, I've long seen that young friend Lin is extraordinary. He has great fortune. Chapter 3494. No longer daring to be fierce. The Phantom God Holy Sun's screams grew weaker and weaker until they disappeared completely. The malicious spirit fully awakened, and the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror had turned blood red. At this moment, the aura emanating from the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror was countless times stronger than before. The malicious spirit had taken control of the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror and could truly unleash the terrifying might of an 8th level Tao Venerable Treasure. The 10,000 Phenomena Mirror split into 2, then for instantly becoming thousands. A large number of mirrors began to dance, blocking out the sky and sun, enveloping Lin Moyu in layers. The malicious spirit's laughter was extremely chilling, penetrating eardrums and striking directly at the soul. When the malicious spirit's laughter reached the outside world, many Tao Venerables covered their ears, their faces showing pain. But covering their ears was useless. The malicious spirit's laughter could directly pierce the soul. The elders didn't take action. They knew the malicious spirit's laughter would only cause discomfort but wouldn't do any real harm. If they couldn't even endure this level, it would be too disappointing. Blood-colored malicious spirits emerged from the mirrors, seemingly countless in number, filling the entire view with red. Lin Moyu said,
Your laughter is too unpleasant.
A ball of fire suddenly exploded. The world-burning fire burned fiercely, instantly turning the entire lotus platform into a sea of flames. The malicious spirit's laughter stopped abruptly, instantly turning into screams. The world-burning fire was a supreme weapon against souls. Faced with the world-burning fire, the malicious spirit of the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror had no power to resist. Raging flames also burned within the mirrors, with the blood-colored malicious spirits rolling around and screaming in agony. Lin Moyu watched expressionlessly. After all, it was the spirit of an 8th level Tao Venerable Treasure. It wouldn't be so easy to burn to death. Nearby, the 9th level elders were once again shocked. Some trembled all over, their faces and eyes filled with terror. When they saw the world-burning fire, it was as if they had seen their greatest nemesis. The 9th level elders all lost their composure, unable to express their shock, their teeth chattering so much they could barely speak coherently.
Heavenly punishment fire. How can he control heavenly punishment fire? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How can heavenly punishment fire be controlled by human power? This is the power of the great Tao. There must be some mistake. It's impossible for anyone to master heavenly punishment fire. Absolutely impossible.
These ninth-level elders, if they were to advance one more step, would face the trial of heavenly punishment fire. They had an innate fear of heavenly punishment fire. In their understanding, heavenly punishment fire was a power belonging to the Great Tao, impossible to be controlled by human power. When Lin Moyu used heavenly punishment fire, their worldview began to collapse. In the lower level, most Tao venerables were still young and didn't know the terror of heavenly punishment fire. But seeing their elders' loss of composure, they realized that the fire Lin Moyu was using must be incredibly powerful. Only the 4 great Tao realm beings in the upper level knew the truth. The 3 ancestors sneered.
They don't even recognize great Tao essence fire. How ignorant.
The king of the Boundary Sea chuckled.
After all, they're just Tao venerables from the origin continent. It's normal they don't know about great Tao essence fire.
The Beast Emperor said.
Brother Lin's great Tao essence fire seems to have grown stronger again.
The 3 ancestors said.
Indeed, it's stronger than before. It seems his great Tao essence fire is still growing and hasn't reached its limit yet. Who knows how powerful it will ultimately become?
The Beast Emperor pondered.
If it could reach that level, he could truly walk sideways in the soul void.
The 3 ancestors said.
Even now, it's not bad. Most dangers in the soul void can't do anything to him.
The king of the Boundary Sea smiled.
If he really reaches that level, it probably won't be a problem for young friend Lin to become a Tao Lord.
The 3 ancestors sighed.
It's a pity that Crucible disappeared. Otherwise, combined with the great Tao essence fire, the soul void would become his backyard.
The Beast Emperor said.
Some things are better left unthought of. That item is too strange. The karmic ties involved are too great. I don't dare to touch it even once.
The 3 ancestors said.
As if I dare to touch it. By the way, how's your ice fire Tao stone coming along? Any effect?
The Beast Emperor said.
Of course there's an effect. I'm almost in contact. What about you?
The 3 ancestors said.
I'm about the same.
The Beast Emperor looked at the king of the Boundary Sea.
Old Black, I still envy you.
The king of the Boundary Sea snorted.
Who told you to lack courage back then? We agreed beforehand, when the time comes, I'll be killing people. Don't interfere.
The 3 ancestors said.
I couldn't care less. If those fellows want to come seeking death, it's none of my business.
The Beast Emperor also said.
Same here. I can only manage my own people. If others come seeking death, kill them as you please.
Zamun didn't speak. The more she listened, the more she felt something was off. She hadn't interacted with the 3 ancestors and others before. Today was the first time. She had thought they were like her, great Tao realm beings trying to find ways to stay in the origin continent. Her understanding of the soul void was far inferior to theirs, and some of the things they mentioned were completely unheard of to her. The matters these 3 spoke of were too high level, and she couldn't even understand parts of it. The 3 seemed to be speaking in riddles. She suddenly realized that behind the Beast Emperor and the other 2, there must either be extremely powerful forces, or they were avatars of some powerful being, coming to the origin continent to seek opportunities for breakthrough. After laying plans for so many years, they were just waiting for the great changes to come. As soon as the origin catastrophe ended, they had already been planning for today. Such figures were too terrifying. Zamun felt that even her Lotus sect shouldn't provoke these 3. What they were pursuing was definitely not simple. The world-burning fire burned fiercely. His world-burning fire was mistaken for heavenly punishment fire by the 9th-level elders, and for great Tao essence fire by the 3 ancestors and others. Only he himself knew clearly that this was neither heavenly punishment fire nor great Tao essence fire, but the even more miraculous world-burning fire. It could not only burn souls but also refine them, and even refine entire worlds. Under the scorching of the world-burning fire, the malicious spirit of the 10,000 phenomena mirror finally couldn't withstand it and began to beg softly for mercy.
Please spare me. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again.
Lin Moyu smiled. This was what he had been waiting for.
Not so fierce now?
The malicious spirit said softly.
Not fierce anymore. I don't dare to be fierce again.
Lin Moyu said.
Either accept me as your master, or be burned to death by me. Choose one right now.
The malicious spirit didn't hesitate at all.
I'm willing to accept you as master. I'm willing with all my heart.
The raging sea of fire gradually shrank. Lin Moyu condensed a world-burning fire the size of a soybean.
Come and swallow it.
The half-crippled malicious spirit tremblingly flew out of the 10,000 phenomena mirror. It fearfully swallowed the world-burning fire. Through his undead eye, Lin Moyu saw a world-burning fire bloom within the malicious spirit's soul flame. This world-burning fire had merged with the malicious spirit. With just a thought from him, no matter how far away, this world-burning fire would explode on the spot, burning the malicious spirit to ashes. With it there was no need to worry about the malicious spirit betraying him. This method was more effective than any oath. Lin Moyu said,
All right, as long as you obey obediently, I won't kill you.
The malicious spirit had lost its ferocity and nodded obediently.
I will obey.
Lin Moyu said,
From now on, you'll be called Little Fierce. Go back now. I'll heal your wounds later.
The malicious spirit obediently returned to the 10,000 phenomena mirror. All the mirrors fused back into one, and the 10,000 phenomena mirror once again became a small box, falling into Lin Moyu's hand. From the moment he tamed the malicious spirit, the 10,000 phenomena mirror belonged to him. Chapter 3495. Selfishness is also a way. Lin Moyu put away the 10,000 phenomena mirror as if it had always been his, without any regard for the 10,000 scenes Holy Land's feelings. Slowly flying out from the competition platform, he looked at the three elders of the 10,000 scenes Holy Land from afar.
Your Holy Land's phantom god Holy Sun was killed by the malicious spirit. Fortunately, this mirror's malicious spirit has been tamed by me. I will temporarily keep this mirror for your Holy Land for a while. What do the three elders think?
Keeping it? Everyone knew that once something was kept, it would never be returned. But how could the three elders of the 10,000 scenes Holy Land dare to ask Lin Moyu to return the 10,000 phenomena mirror now? Everyone had seen that although the phantom god Holy Sun didn't die by Lin Moyu's hand, he died because of Lin Moyu. Now the phantom god Holy Sun was dead. The 10,000 phenomena mirror was lost, and they, three mighty 9th level elders, didn't dare to make a sound. To say they had lost face would be an understatement. They had completely disgraced themselves. But they couldn't bring themselves to say a word of disagreement. After several awkward seconds, Elder Dream Landscape finally spoke.
Then we'll trouble Mr. Lin.
Not only could they not refuse, but they also had to be polite, addressing Lin Moyu as
Mr.
Lin Moyu nodded.
If the 10,000 scenes Holy Land has any issues in the future, you can send someone to notify me. I'll help if I can.
After saying this, Lin Moyu returned to the upper level, disappearing into the clouds and mist. The disciples' competition wasn't over yet. Although the incident with the 10,000 scenes Holy Land's phantom god Holy Sun had occurred, the scheduled proceedings still had to continue. The ancient Lotus Holy Lord would continue to preside. Returning to the upper Lotus platform, the Beast Emperor laughed heartily.
Fellow Taoist Lin is quite impressive.
Lin Moyu said,
I had no choice. The situation demanded it. He started it, and I was just forced to respond.
The three ancestors said,
What a good forced response. To be able to say this with such a clear conscience, your face is truly thick enough.
Lin Moyu said,
I'm just learning from the three ancestors.
Although he knew their true identities might be shocking, Lin Moyu didn't change his attitude. He remained the same as before. Hearing Lin Moyu speak like this, the three ancestors didn't get angry. Instead, their tone became gentle.
Having thick skin is a good thing. Sometimes you can't think too much or worry too much. Just do what your conscience allows. Don't always try to please everyone. The more you try to do so, the harder it becomes to please anyone.
At this moment, the three ancestors were like a mentor teaching a promising junior, imparting some wisdom. For beings at the level of the three ancestors, sometimes one or two sentences from them might be more useful than listening to an entire lecture. If not every word was a pearl of wisdom, it was at least enough to guide one's Tao heart. Lin Moyu naturally understood the meaning behind the three ancestors' words. He half-jokingly said,
The three ancestors are right. I'm quite selfish and have always only cared about myself.
The three ancestors chuckled.
Selfishness is also a way.
The disciples' competition began again. Lin Moyu had no interest in these childish fights. Without realizing it, Lin Moyu was already high above, looking down on all beings. Watching them fight at most made Lin Moyu feel a bit nostalgic, remembering when he too was like them, participating in competition after competition to prove himself. It seemed this was something all those who became high-level beings had to experience. Lin Moyu's Tao heart was clear. Past and future intertwined at this moment, and he saw clearly the path ahead of him. Mist appeared in his eyes as he saw his own fortune rising. A large amount of fortune was converging from all directions, and Lin Moyu's fortune was growing. The small competition with the phantom god Holy Sun just now, and the appearance of the world-burning fire, had rapidly elevated his status in the eyes of the various elders. If they weren't fools, the top forces would know they shouldn't provoke him, that they couldn't afford to provoke him. Although nothing was said on the surface, those elders had already placed him on the same level as the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor. Their will and thoughts were reflected in the fortune, and part of the fortune of various top forces fell on him as a result. Ordinary people couldn't see or feel this. Without cultivating the fortune Great Tao, even Great Tao realm beings like the three ancestors might not be able to sense changes in fortune. The three ancestors could only sense fortune through some special treasures. But Lin Moyu could clearly see the changes in fortune. While seeing the changes in fortune, Lin Moyu also began to understand the three ancestors' plans. Spreading the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce throughout the world was like setting up numerous points, using the name of the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce and himself as a banner to collect the fortune of heaven and earth. In the eyes of the three ancestors, fortune was also a very important part of their overall plan.
Unfortunately, your arrangements might not be correct.
Lin Moyu said silently in his heart. He didn't believe the methods of the three ancestors and the Beast Emperor were correct. Becoming the true dominator in the great changes of heaven and earth wasn't so easy. The competition lasted a full day before ending. The ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet entered its third phase. Lectures by the various elders. Just as the lectures were about to begin, the king of the Boundary Sea put down his wine cup.
This king should take his leave.
The Beast Emperor also chimed in.
This emperor will leave too. After drinking so much wine, it's time to go back and have a good nap.
The three ancestors chuckled.
Then let's leave together.
Zamoon didn't try to keep the three. Her beautiful face carried a smile.
Zamoon wishes the three of you success in your endeavors.
The three's forms faded simultaneously, becoming indistinct and vanishing. Lin Moyu said.
Then this junior will also take his leave.
Zamoon said.
Fellow Taoist Lin won't stay a few more days?
Lin Moyu said.
My business here is done, so I won't stay longer. I wish Elder Zamoon a speedy recovery from your injuries.
Zamoon didn't try to keep him further.
If that's the case, then I won't force fellow Taoist Lin to stay. Take care, fellow Taoist Lin.
Lin Moyu smiled and flew down from the upper level. At this time, an elder had already begun lecturing, and everyone was listening attentively. Not many people noticed Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu came to Little May's side.
Little May, it's time to go.
Although Little May was somewhat reluctant to leave the delicious food, she was still obedient. She wiped her hands.
Okay.
The ancient Lotus Holy Lord and the immortal Lotus Holy Maiden both stood up.
The ancestor has said that the immortal Lotus will see Mr. Lin out.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Thank you for your trouble.
The immortal Lotus Holy Maiden summoned a lotus flower to take Lin Moyu and Little May away. On the way out of the ancient Lotus Holy Land, the immortal Lotus Holy Maiden suddenly asked,
"Where will Mr. Lin go next?"
Lin Moyu said,
"I've been away for a long time. It's time to go back and check on things. If the immortal Lotus has time, you can come visit Yuedao City in the eastern continent."
The immortal Lotus Holy Maiden smiled.
"The immortal Lotus will come. Will Mr. Lin attend the next genius competition?"
Lin Moyu said,
"It depends on the situation. I might come or might not. The world changes, and no one can say for sure."
The immortal Lotus Holy Maiden nodded and didn't speak further. The lotus flower flew out of the ancient Lotus Holy Land. Lin Moyu summoned the cloud-piercing sword for Little May to sit on, and they quickly pierced through the clouds and disappeared. The immortal Lotus Holy Maiden watched until Lin Moyu was out of sight before slowly saying,
"Take care."
Her tone and gaze were complex, carrying a hint of helplessness. She stood there for a long while before turning to go back. Chapter 3496. Cause and Effect Great Tao Fruit Mirror. On the cloud-piercing sword, Little May had a mischievous expression.
"Teacher, it seems the immortal Lotus Holy Maiden has taken a liking to you."
Lin Moyu asked in return.
"Little May, did you have a Tao companion in your previous life?"
Little May didn't react immediately, instinctively shaking her head. Lin Moyu continued asking,
"What about this life?"
Little May said curiously.
"Teacher, what are you talking about? I'm still so young."
Lin Moyu said,
"Since you've never had a Tao companion, what do you know about love?"
So that's what he was getting at. Little May strongly refuted.
"Teacher, although I've never had a Tao companion, I've eaten pork even if I haven't killed a pig. I've seen many Tao companions in the Holy Land."
Lin Moyu said,
"Seeing is different from experiencing yourself. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand."
Little May snorted.
"Anyway, I can tell that the immortal Lotus Holy Maiden really likes you, teacher."
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"These things aren't so simple. Your teacher won't develop feelings for anyone else. Your 7 teacher mothers."
At this point, Lin Moyu stopped speaking. There were some things he didn't want to talk about. If he continued, he would end up cursing that green-robed old man again. Little May said,
All right, we won't talk about it then. Teacher, are we going back to the eastern continent now?"
Lin Moyu nodded.
"We've been away for so long, it's time to go back."
Little May made an
"Oh.
sound.
Then are we going to take the Louvre Foam Chamber of Commerce's warship again?"
Lin Moyu said,
"No need. We'll cross over directly. It's faster this way."
The Hurricane warship had to fly along specific routes. To enter Yuedao City, they would have to take a big detour. Previously, they took the Hurricane warship because Lin Moyu's strength wasn't sufficient and to save energy. Now, with the cloud-piercing sword in hand, there was naturally no need. After adjusting the direction, the cloud-piercing sword flew in a straight line towards Yuedao City. Lin Moyu took out the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror, at the same time flicking a spirit flower into the mirror to heal the newly subdued Little Fierce. Spirit flowers were effective for treasure spirits as well. Little May asked,
"Teacher, what's special about this 10,000 Phenomena Mirror?"
With Lin Moyu's perspective, an 8th-level Tao Venerable treasure wouldn't be enough for him to forcibly take it like this. Little May knew that Lin Moyu must have his own reasons for doing this. This treasure couldn't be so simple. Lin Moyu held the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror, which unfolded in his hand from a folded square box into a mirror about the size of a human head. The mirror looked extremely exquisite, emitting a peculiar aura. Lin Moyu said,
"This is a rare cause and effect treasure."
Little May said,
"A cause and effect treasure? How did you figure that out, teacher?"
To outsiders, the 10,000 Phenomena Mirror seemed more like an illusion-type treasure, using illusions to reflect reality. Even Elder Phantom Landscape used to think so. Lin Moyu said,
"Because it told me itself."
At that time, to save its life, The malicious spirit secretly told Lin Moyu inside the 10,000 phenomena mirror that it was a cause and effect treasure. Because these words were spoken inside the 10,000 phenomena mirror, no one except Lin Moyu knew. A moment later, a small spirit appeared on the 10,000 phenomena mirror. Little fierce injuries had healed. It didn't look like a malicious spirit at all, appearing no different from other treasure spirits. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
"Tell me, why did you pretend to be a malicious spirit?"
Little Fierce answered honestly.
In response to Master's question, it's because only by disguising myself as a malicious spirit would they not talk to me. If I told them I was a cause and effect treasure, they would definitely keep using me, making me do all sorts of things. I hate that.
This little treasure spirit had quite a temper, actually disguising itself as a malicious spirit just to avoid being used by others. Little May snorted.
If you're lazy, just say so. No need for so many excuses.
Little Fierce immediately denied Little May's words.
It's not that I'm lazy, it's because I'm afraid of cause and effect.
For a cause and effect treasure to say it's afraid of cause and effect sounds laughable. Lin Moyu seemed to understand something.
Although you're a cause and effect treasure, when used, you also have to bear the cause and effect. If there's too much cause and effect, even you can't withstand it.
Little Fierce said.
That's right. I'm the spirit of a cause and effect treasure, not the lord of the cause and effect great Tao. Not just me, even those in the cause and effect great Tao can't withstand it. My previous master died like this. There was too much cause and effect, and he couldn't withstand the backlash.
Little Fierce disguised itself as a malicious spirit with the true purpose of hiding the fact that it was a cause and effect treasure. This way, it wouldn't need to be involved in cause and effect. In the end, it was all about survival. Little May asked,
Then why are you telling us now?
Little Fierce said. Lin Moyu chuckled.
Then tell me, what are your abilities? Don't try to deceive me, you know what will happen.
Little Fierce said.
Actually, I'm not called the 10,000 phenomena mirror. My previous master named me the question fruit mirror. My ability is to reverse cause and effect. I can complete the effect first, then seek the cause. However, if the cause can't be found, there will be a backlash, and the backlash is terrifying.
Lin Moyu asked.
How did your previous master die?
Little Fierce said.
It was during the origin catastrophe. My previous master reversed cause and effect to kill a black blood sword saint from the black blood realm, but he couldn't find the cause, so he was backlashed by the cause and effect great Tao and perished. Master, you need to be careful when using me. Don't use me recklessly. Finding the cause is very difficult.
The cause and effect great Tao is one of the most mysterious great Taos. Very few can comprehend it, and even fewer have seen it. Its ability to reverse cause and effect is indeed terrifying, but the backlash is equally horrifying. Lin Moyu hasn't comprehended the cause and effect great Tao yet, so he can't further understand it. For now, he's not considering using it. As for the usage by the 10,000 Scenes Holy Land, that's just the most basic application of the cause and effect great Tao, not reaching the level of reversing cause and effect. It's just using the cause and effect great Tao to copy and amplify attacks, nothing special. Lin Moyu said.
I understand. I won't use it recklessly.
Little Fierce had become very obedient now.
If there's nothing else, I'll go back now.
Lin Moyu made an sound.
I'll call you if I need anything.
Little Fierce zipped back into the question fruit mirror. Lin Moyu put it away, muttering softly.
Reversing cause and effect is indeed a domineering ability. If one could withstand the backlash, it could truly become the strongest killing method, almost unrivaled. What a pity. Hurting the enemy by 1,000 but also hurting oneself by 1,000 makes it somewhat useless. It can only be used when both sides are going to perish anyway.
He was thinking if he used his new life talent, could he withstand the cause and effect backlash? If so, while others would have to exchange one life for one life, he had countless lives. Wouldn't that mean he could exchange lives? If that were true, not just in the origin continent, even facing those powerful existences in the Great Tao realm, he wouldn't need to be afraid. Little May curiously asked,
Does teacher plan to comprehend the cause and effect Great Tao?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I don't have such plans for now. I've comprehended enough Great Taos at present. If I try to comprehend more, my cultivation speed will become too slow. Let's take it slow. If there's time in the future, I'll comprehend some other Great Taos as a pastime.
For others, comprehending a great Tao is as difficult as ascending to heaven. But in Lin Moyu's mouth, it became a pastime. If others heard this, they would definitely curse Lin Moyu for 3 days and 3 nights. 2 days later, the cloud-piercing sword flew out of the southern continent and entered the vast boundary sea. Chapter 3497. The small town that fell from the sky. The boundary sea was vast, and the cloud-piercing sword flashed by. At first, they could occasionally see small islands where people lived, and some even had sects established on them. Gradually, the small islands became fewer and fewer until they disappeared completely. In their view, there was nothing but rolling waves. Dark clouds gradually pressed down, covering the boundary sea with clouds that never dispersed. Even the light from the 2 great origins could hardly penetrate this thick layer of black clouds. The sea water became increasingly dark. Without light, the sea surface became cold and painful. The world became more and more oppressive. Lin Moyu stopped talking and continued to study the divine rune materials given by Zimun. Little May also closed her mouth and began to focus on cultivation. After the ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet, Little May had eaten too many good things, and her cultivation was progressing rapidly. She had now reached the peak of the God King realm, just 1 step away from the sacred venerable realm. Little May had reached the peak of the God King realm twice before, but because her cultivation method required her to suppress her realm 3 times, this was the time for her true breakthrough. Several days later, Little May's aura fluctuated and then soared. The limitations of the God King realm broke with a sound, and Little May stepped into the sacred venerable realm in one go. Part of her accumulated power burst forth at this moment, pushing Little May's realm to rise all the way until it stopped at the middle stage of the sacred venerable realm. Even now, Little May hadn't fully refined all the food she had eaten at the ancient Lotus Immortal Banquet. Little May didn't just eat. She ate while packing quite a lot. At that time, the immortal Lotus Holy Maiden and the ancient Lotus Holy Lord were sitting next to Little May. They had no objections to Little May's actions. The immortal Lotus Holy Maiden even helped Little May get some good things. They all did this out of respect for Lin Moyu. Little May wasn't polite at all. After all, she was still a child, and who could argue with a child? Little May had taken full advantage of her childish appearance. Who could have guessed that Little May was once a being who had reached the 9th level of the Tao Venerable Realm? The cloud-piercing sword flew in the boundary sea for over 10 days, getting closer and closer to the eastern continent. During these days, Lin Moyu continuously studied the divine rune materials, deepening his understanding of divine runes. He felt that he could now set up divine rune formations, and his understanding of divine runes was no longer inferior to Gu Hanyu's. When this feeling appeared, Lin Moyu didn't hesitate at all, and immediately began experimenting in his soul world. Pure soul power fused with powdered origin crystals to form the ink needed to draw divine runes. His soul freely wielded it, sketching out one complex divine rune after another. The divine runes condensed without dispersing in the soul world, combining with each other to form a small divine rune formation. The divine rune formation wasn't complex. Lin Moyu had only transformed the sealing formation he was quite skilled at into a divine rune formation, and it was just the simplest transformation. According to his estimation, the 4th grade sealing formation, after being transformed into a divine rune formation, should have an effect around the 5th grade. This was the result calculated after using 8th grade origin crystals. But the final effect still exceeded his imagination. The transformed divine rune formation had an effect comparable to a 6th grade formation.
Divine rune formations are truly marvelous.
Lin Moyu's soul murmured to itself. He had only transformed the sealing formation to be set up with divine runes, yet the effect was so good. Then, If he were to convert the 7th grade space-rending formation into a divine rune formation, the effect would probably reach the 8th grade, maybe even touching the 9th grade. At that time, with the space-rending formation set up, even if a 9th level elder came, they wouldn't be able to leave unscathed. Lin Moyu decided that after returning this time, he would change all the formations outside Yuedao City into divine rune formations and set them up as space-rending formations. This way, even if he wasn't there, who would dare to come and provoke them?
The way of divine runes is profound and extensive. According to Elder Zimun, true divine rune formations only exist in the Great Tao Formation sect. The Great Tao Formation sect can integrate extremely complex formations into a single divine rune. When the divine rune appears, the formation is complete, even more useful than formation discs. If one could truly reach this level, perhaps they could truly step into the way of formations.
This level could only be imagined for now, and it wasn't good to think too much about it. Being overly ambitious wouldn't do any good. In his soul world, Lin Moyu tried setting up divine rune formations again and again. He transformed some formations he was familiar with, changing them all into divine rune formations. The effects after transformation were all very good, with at least a 1-grade improvement. The cloud-piercing sword flew in the boundary sea for a full 20 days before the coastline finally appeared in their view. They officially entered the Eastern Continent territory, not far from Yuedao City. Little May's realm was now firmly established at the middle stage of the Sacred Venerable Realm. Her storage ring still contained a lot of food packed from the Immortal Banquet. If she ate it all, Little May's realm could at least rise to the peak of the Sacred Venerable Realm, possibly even stepping into the other shore realm.
Teacher, are we almost there?
Little May asked. Lin Moyu looked into the distance, seeming to see Yuedao City across the infinite distance.
Almost.
At their current speed, it would take about 3 more days of flying to arrive. Lin Moyu felt his speed was still too slow. Limited by his realm, he couldn't bring out the cloud-piercing sword's fastest speed. If he could be like the Beast Emperor and the 3 ancestors, it wouldn't take so long at all. At most, it would take an hour to fly from the southern continent to Yuedao City. Although his combat power was strong, his realm was still there. Some things were difficult to change. After flying for 2 more days, they got closer and closer to Yuedao City, but Lin Moyu sensed something was off. Along the way, they saw quite a few people, all heading in the same direction as them, towards Yuedao City. Lin Moyu felt puzzled.
When did Yuedao City become so lively? The human emperor didn't tell me about this.
The avatar next to the human emperor spoke up to ask,
Human emperor, what's the current situation in Yuedao City?
The human emperor replied,
Everything is normal in Yuedao City.
Lin Moyu asked curiously,
On my way back, I saw many people seemingly heading towards Yuedao City.
The human emperor said,
Recently, there have indeed been quite a few people coming to Yuedao City. The reason is that about a month ago, something fell from the sky about 1,000,000 miles east of Yuedao City. After that thing landed, it transformed into an ancient-looking small town. Many people have gone in to explore.
The human emperor controlled the entire Yuedao City and knew about various things happening in the city. People who went to explore that town that fell from the sky returned to Yuedao City to discuss it, which is how the human emperor found out. Otherwise, being 1,000,000 miles away, the human emperor couldn't manage such a distant place. Lin Moyu asked,
What were the results of the exploration? What's in that small town?
The human emperor said,
From what we know so far, a few people obtained some ancient treasures from it, but we're not clear on the specifics of these treasures. However, the small town isn't safe. Many people who went in haven't come out.
Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
Have any of our people gone in?
The human emperor said,
Currently, we can't confirm the level of danger, so I haven't sent anyone in.
Lin Moyu nodded.
It's good not to go. Wait until I come back and take a look before making a decision.
His gaze carried thoughtfulness.
A small town that fell from the sky. Could it be a relic from beyond the sky? If it really is a relic from beyond the sky, it seems the great changes in heaven and earth are getting closer and closer. All sorts of strange things are starting to happen.
Chapter 3498. Found a big sister. Half a day later, Lin Moyu finally stepped into the territory of Yuedao City, which was bounded by the Origin Spirit Vein. Lin Moyu put away the cloud-piercing sword and activated the Origin Spirit Vein's teleportation, directly arriving outside Yuedao City. Outside Yuedao City, people were coming and going, making it extremely lively. Having been away for many years, Lin Moyu could barely recognize Yuedao City. Lin Moyu and Little May's sudden appearance didn't attract anyone's attention. As soon as Lin Moyu arrived, the human emperor's phantom appeared beside him, quickly solidifying. The human emperor chuckled.
The Realm Lord has finally returned.
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
These years must have been hard on you.
The human emperor said,
Not at all. Managing Yuedao City is a form of cultivation for me. Seeing Yuedao City grow larger and our people firmly taking root here makes me happy.
The human emperor was still the war god from years ago, wholeheartedly devoted to the human race of the great world. Now that the great world was prosperous, and at the same time the humans from the great world had firmly taken root in the origin continent, he was the happiest. Usually, Lin Moyu rarely inquired about Yuedao City's affairs. Since he had already entrusted Yuedao City to the human emperor's management, he completely trusted the human emperor and didn't need to ask about it himself. Although Lin Moyu didn't manage it, the human emperor still gave Lin Moyu a brief report on Yuedao City's situation. Under the human emperor's management, Yuedao City had developed extremely smoothly. It was now a truly great city, with a population exceeding 50 million. The Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce had also contributed significantly. Various chambers of commerce had settled in, making Yuedao City prosperous. Not just humans, but many from the beast race had come as well. Even several beast clans had set up offices here. The beast race didn't cause trouble because this was Lin Moyu's city, and Lin Moyu was a fellow Taoist of the Beast Emperor. The 10 royal clans all had to give face to Lin Moyu. When people from the royal clans came to Yuedao City, not only did they behave themselves, but they even helped manage other beast race members. In short, over these years, Yuedao City had been very smooth without any problems. Lin Moyu asked,
Those girls haven't caused any trouble, have they?
The human emperor smiled and said,
The young ladies have been very well behaved. Apart from cultivation, everything else is fine.
Lin Moyu had already guessed. With little mist around, little Yu would definitely be influenced and couldn't be too enthusiastic about cultivation. Lin Moyu smiled.
It's fine. I've found them a big sister. Someone will keep them in line from now on.
The human emperor looked at little May beside him.
Is it this young lady?
He didn't doubt it. Every decision Lin Moyu made seemed to have never been wrong. Lin Moyu said,
Her name is Little May. She's my newest disciple.
Little May greeted the human emperor.
Hello, human emperor. I'm Little May. Little as in small, May as in plum blossom.
Looking at the adorable little May, even the human emperor's old face squeezed out a smile.
Hello, Little May.
Although little May was cute, he didn't quite understand why Lin Moyu said little May was the big sister. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't hide it from the human emperor.
Little May is a reincarnation of someone who voluntarily dissolved their physical body. In her previous life, Little May was a 9th level elder, so there's no problem with her being the big sister.
The human emperor's gaze revealed a hint of surprise. Lin Moyu noticed the human emperor's expression.
Human emperor, you seem a bit different.
The human emperor said,
Yes, I feel a bit different too. It seems to be the influence of Yuedao City.
Parasitic in a technological treasure, the former human emperor wouldn't have any emotions, at least not showing joy, anger, sorrow, or happiness in his expression. But just now, the human emperor not only smiled but also showed surprise. These were all things that didn't exist before, indicating that the human emperor was undergoing changes. Back when they were in the mall, Lu Lian had already become indistinguishable from a real person. Now the human emperor seemed to be going through a similar change. But compared to Lu Lian, he was still quite far behind. the human emperor escorted Lin Moyu into the city. Lin Moyu's residence hadn't changed location, and was now the best place in Yuedao City apart from the city lord's mansion. Many people in Yuedao City knew that in this not-so-large courtyard lived the disciples of Yuedao City's city lord. Lin Moyu walked into the familiar courtyard. Before he even entered, he could hear Little Mist's chattering voice. Little Mist was playing with Little Yu, while only Little Wu was quietly drinking tea on the side. After many years, the three hadn't changed much. The moment they saw Lin Moyu, all three froze in place. A second later, Little Mist let out a
"Wah!"
and pounced on Lin Moyu, hanging on him like a koala. No matter how many years passed, Little Mist's ability to do this never changed. Little Mist cried out,
"Master, you're finally back. I missed you so much."
Tears fell with her shouts, landing on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu could feel that Little Mist was very excited. Previously, Little Mist could sense Lin Moyu's general location. Every time he was about to return, Little Mist would know in advance. But now, as Lin Moyu's realm got higher and higher, especially after his soul reached the innate level, Little Mist could no longer sense his location.
"Teacher! Father!"
Little Yu and Little Wu ran to Lin Moyu, sweetly calling out to him. They were also excited but wouldn't express it as dramatically as Little Mist. Lin Moyu looked at them.
"Not bad. Although you've been held back by this girl, your cultivation has made some progress."
Before Lin Moyu left, he had released part of the divine thunder he had absorbed and set up a formation. All three could enter to absorb it. Little Yu had now reached the middle stage of the heavenly venerable realm, not far from the high stage, showing significant progress. Little Wu had firmly established herself at the second level of the Tao venerable realm, with the next step being to break through to the third level. Only Little Mist remained at the early stage of the first level of the Tao venerable realm, showing little progress. Although cultivation slowed down after the Tao venerable realm, even Little Wu had made progress while Little Mist had remained stagnant, which was a bit unreasonable. Little Mist's talent was no worse than anyone else's. With the fortune great Tao in her body and strong fortune, she was just too playful. Lin Moyu wanted to put down this little girl who didn't like to cultivate, but Little Mist wouldn't let go no matter what. Little Wu asked,
"Father, who is this sister?"
Only then did Little Mist notice that there was a little girl standing beside Lin Moyu. Little May introduced herself.
"I'm Little May, teacher's new disciple."
Little Mist said,
"Master, you found us another sister?"
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"Little May isn't your sister, she's your elder sister."
Huh? The three didn't quite understand. Lin Moyu said,
"Little May was a 9th level elder in her previous life. From now on, when I'm not around, she'll be in charge of supervising your cultivation. Especially you, Little Mist. You must listen to Little May from now on, or Little May will spank you."
The three could never have imagined that Little May's previous life was as a 9th level elder. Without Lin Moyu saying anything, Little May had already explained about her previous life. The aura she displayed at this moment was completely unlike what a 15 or 16-year-old girl should have. She talked about some things from her previous life, leaving the others stunned. Even Little Mist was attracted, letting go of Lin Moyu. Seeing Little May quickly integrate with the three and subtly become the big sister, Lin Moyu felt relieved. All four were his family members, with no distinction based on cultivation realm here. Little May had the lowest cultivation, yet she could become the big sister to the others. With her previous life's cultivation experience, he no longer needed to worry about Little Yu and the others' cultivation. Lin Moyu prepared a relatively basic version of his insights on divine runes and gave it to the four, letting Little May supervise as they comprehended and cultivated together. He then teleported to the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce. 3499 3499. Chapter 3499. What face does a 5th level Tao Venerable need? After many years, the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce in Yuedao City was still managed by Lu Shui. Over these years, the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce had been unparalleled in Yuedao City, with no other large or small chamber of commerce able to compare. Lu Shui, as the manager of the Chamber of Commerce, also held quite a high position in Yuedao City.
Lu Shui greets Mr. Lin.
Lu Shui bowed to Lin Moyu with a hint of respect. She was well aware that no matter how her status changed, Lin Moyu played a crucial role. Even her ability to manage here was because of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Miss Lu Shui, after not seeing you for so many years, your aura has become even more refined.
Lu Shui smiled.
It's all thanks to Mr. Lin's blessing. I wonder if there's anything Lu Shui can help with on Mr. Lin's return this time.
Lin Moyu said,
Do you know about that small town that fell from the sky 1,000,000 miles away?
Lu Shui said,
I know a little, but not much. To be honest with Mr. Lin, many people have come to our Chamber of Commerce recently to purchase related information, but I imagine this information wouldn't be of interest to Mr. Lin. How about this? We'll contact Miss Lu Lian for Mr. Lin. Perhaps Mr. Lin can get what you want from her.
Lin Moyu nodded.
That's fine, go ahead and contact her.
Lu Shui led Lin Moyu to a private room on the second floor of the Chamber of Commerce and activated a formation in front of Lin Moyu. After activating the formation, Lu Shui immediately withdrew. She knew well that some conversations weren't for her to hear. A moment later, Lu Lian's voice came from within the formation.
Lu Shui, what's the matter?
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Miss Lu Lian, this is Lin Moyu. It's been a while.
Lu Lian said,
Oh, it's you. It hasn't been that long. Do you need something?
Lu Lian's voice was somewhat cold, but she was like this with almost everyone, only slightly softer when speaking to the three ancestors. Lin Moyu said,
I've come to buy some information about the small town outside Yuedao City.
Lu Lian said,
That small town is very far from Yuedao City. Why do you want information about it?
Hearing this, Lin Moyu was slightly surprised inwardly. Normally, Lu Lian shouldn't speak like this. She would either directly tell him whether she could sell the information or not. If she could sell it, she would quote a price. If she couldn't, she would directly refuse. But speaking like this meant that this small town was not ordinary. Lin Moyu said,
1,000,000 miles isn't that far, and it's not that close either. As it happens, I'm planning to expand Yuedao City's territory in the near future. By then, it might be less than 1,000,000 miles away. So I really need to understand its background.
Lu Lian was silent for 2 seconds before saying,
Actually, you don't need to go. That small town will leave soon.
Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
Is it returning to the sky?
Just from Lu Lian's answer, Lin Moyu had basically confirmed its origin. Lu Lian was silent for a few more seconds before speaking again.
Yes, it will return to the sky. Its descent this time was just an accident. I don't recommend you go there.
Lin Moyu asked,
Is this the three ancestors' opinion? If it's the three ancestors' opinion, I'd like to hear the reason.
Lu Lian fell silent again. A moment later, the three ancestors' voice suddenly sounded.
Little Lin, that small town indeed came down from the sky. You can consider it part of a relic from beyond the sky. Its fall this time was just an accident, and it will return soon. I'm almost ready on my end. In a while, I'll be able to take you to visit the relic from beyond the sky, so you really don't need to go to the small town.
Listening to the three ancestors' words, Lin Moyu felt increasingly uneasy.
Three ancestors, why don't you just tell me the truth? What's so special about that small town?
The three ancestors' voice carried a hint of helplessness.
I know you must be very curious. I can only tell you that in that small town, there's a being that's either dead nor alive. It's best not to disturb it. If it's not really dead and you wake it up, it will be very troublesome.
Lin Moyu asked,
Is it something from outside?
The three ancestors directly denied it.
It's not. It's something we created, but it had a small problem and became unable to distinguish friend from foe. It was originally sleeping in the relic from beyond the sky. This time, there was a small accident on my end, and it fell down along with the small town. Fortunately, I've already dealt with it. In about 10 days, it will leave this place, so you don't need to go.
Lin Moyu said.
3 ancestors, why don't you stop others, but only prevent me from going?
The 3 ancestors said.
Those fellows don't have that ability. It's sleeping in the very center of the small town. They simply can't get in there.
Lin Moyu understood. The small town was originally part of the relic from beyond the sky, flying nicely above the origin continent, but the 3 ancestors accidentally brought it down. Coincidentally, in the center of the small town, there was also something that couldn't distinguish friend from foe. If it were released, it would cause unnecessary trouble. The 3 ancestors weren't worried about others because they didn't have the ability, but they were specifically concerned about Lin Moyu. Because Lin Moyu's exploration ability was too strong, he was very likely to reach the center of the small town. Lin Moyu asked,
Are you sure it won't wake up on its own?
The 3 ancestors thought for a moment.
It shouldn't.
Hearing the 3 ancestors' words, Lin Moyu chuckled twice.
You don't seem very certain.
The 3 ancestors spoke matter-of-factly.
In this world, there are always unexpected events. Nothing can be truly certain. I can only say it should wake up, but I can't rule out possibilities beyond shouldn't.
Lin Moyu said.
What if it does wake up?
The 3 ancestors said.
I'll find a way to deal with it.
1,000,000 miles wasn't that far, and it wasn't that close. The closest place to the small town was Yuedao City. Couldn't be ruled out that if it woke up, it might pose a threat to Yuedao City. Lin Moyu was indeed uneasy and decided he still needed to go take a look. Lin Moyu said.
Please give me a detailed report. I'll go take a look.
The 3 ancestors seemed somewhat displeased.
I said you don't need to go.
Lin Moyu insisted on his own idea.
I won't go in. I'll just look from the outside, just in case.
The 3 ancestors said in a low voice. Lin Moyu said.
At least I'll stand guard outside. If it comes out, I'll drive it towards the mall. You.
The 3 ancestors almost cursed it out loud. Lin Moyu actually said this to his face. This was really too shameless. The 3 ancestors said in a low voice.
You're quite a figure yourself. Have some face.
Lin Moyu said.
You old seniors need face. What face does a little 5th-level Dao venerable like me need?
The 3 ancestors spoke with some helplessness.
Your face is really getting thicker and thicker. All right, I'll give you the information. But you promise not to go in. Also, if that thing really does come out, I'll come to deal with it. Don't do anything rash. That thing is very dangerous. Just stay far away.
Lin Moyu said.
Don't worry, I know my limits.
Although he didn't know what that thing was, he understood it must be very dangerous. If it wasn't powerful, they wouldn't have created it to fight against outside forces back then. And from the 3 ancestors' words, it was clear that even the 3 ancestors were somewhat wary of it. Although Lin Moyu thought highly of himself, he hadn't reached the point where he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the 3 ancestors. Chapter 3500. There's no such thing as foolproof in this world. After some persistent negotiation with the 3 ancestors, Lin Moyu finally obtained the information related to the small town. After closing the formation, Lin Moyu carefully read through the information and understood what was going on. The small town was indeed part of a relic from beyond the sky. Originally, the 3 ancestors had planned to take Lin Moyu to this relic, but when opening the passage, there was a problem with the formation. This relic from beyond the sky was originally hidden in a space between layers. The problem with the formation caused part of the relic to enter the space of the origin continent. Later, the 3 ancestors had been trying to send it back, but that required repositioning the space, which couldn't be done in just a day or 2. Fortunately, the 3 ancestors later found that space and set up the formation, just waiting for that space to be relatively close to the origin continent to send it away. The information told Lin Moyu that the small town wasn't safe, with dangers everywhere. Ordinary Dao venerables would have difficulty moving around inside. The 3 ancestors could let others go in without worry, but not Lin Moyu, because he wasn't sure if these dangers could stop Lin Moyu. The information also said that the being sleeping in the center of the small town was actually a powerful war puppet. It was created back then to deal with powerful beings from the Black Blood realm. Its strength was very powerful, not much weaker than an average Great Tao realm being. That's why the three ancestors were so wary of it. Because it was a puppet, the Great Tao wouldn't punish it, so it could act unrestrained on the origin continent. After reading the information, Lin Moyu still decided to go and see for himself. If that thing really came out, at least he couldn't let it threaten Yuedao City. Leaving the Lu Feng Chamber of Commerce, Lin Moyu directly used teleportation to leave Yuedao City. He teleported hundreds of thousands of miles away, then got on the cloud-piercing sword and flew through the sky. Soon, a not-so-large small town appeared in Lin Moyu's view. Looking from the air, the small town was circular, with a diameter of only about 100,000 meters.
This is...
Lin Moyu looked at the small town, reminded of the Dao Protection Fortress. The Dao Protection Fortress had 360 caves, each cave being a formation eye. This circular small town was the same as the caves in Rift Wind Cliff. It was also a formation eye. The circular plate under the small town was a formation disc serving as a formation eye. But while it was a formation eye, it was also a military camp. It wasn't a military camp for cultivators to live in. Judging by the layout of the small town, this was a camp for storing puppets.
It seems the main fighting force of this Dao Protection Fortress is mainly puppets.
Lin Moyu murmured softly, while activating his undead eye. Under the undead eye, numerous soul flames appeared in the small town. These soul flames were all from cultivators who had gone in to explore, numbering several hundred, which wasn't a small amount. They were distributed throughout the small town, but all were in the outskirts, unable to approach the center. Besides these cultivators, Lin Moyu also saw a special soul flame in the center of the small town. This soul flame wasn't the kind that living beings should have, but the soul flame of a spirit. The soul flame was flickering very slowly, seemingly in a deep sleep.
This must be the one the three ancestors mentioned. It's indeed sleeping and doesn't look like it will wake up anytime soon.
After seeing it with his own eyes, Lin Moyu felt a bit more at ease. However, he didn't plan to leave just yet. He wanted to stay and watch until the small town left before he could feel completely reassured. The three ancestors were making final preparations, and the small town would remain here for another 10 days or so. The human emperor was clever not to let people from Yuedao City come. Indeed, they shouldn't come. The small town wasn't safe and there wouldn't be any gains. At the same time, Lin Moyu found something strange.
With the three ancestors' ability, why would the formation they set up have problems? This shouldn't happen. When the three ancestors mentioned earlier that their formation had problems, their tone seemed a bit different. If the problem wasn't on the three ancestors' side.
Lin Moyu didn't believe the three ancestors would really make a mistake in the formation. If it wasn't the three ancestors' problem, he had to consider some conspiracy theories. Back then, there was a group of people trying to rebel against the Beast Emperor. And when the Beast Emperor went to deal with this matter, there was no follow-up. Could there be similar people on the three ancestors' side, secretly tampering with things? He knew the three ancestors wouldn't easily appear in person. For setting up formations, at most they would give some instructions from behind the scenes, which would give people opportunities to tamper. Lin Moyu wasn't sure if his thoughts were correct. He had no certainty, and even felt a bit ridiculous for being too conspiratorial.
If someone is really sabotaging things behind the scenes, then letting the small town fall down must be just the first step. The second step should be to wake up that thing inside, causing chaos. How strong is this puppet that even the three ancestors are so wary of it?
Lin Moyu sat cross-legged in the air, waiting quietly. Almost no one discovered his presence. The sun and moon, the two great origins, alternated, and in the blink of an eye 3 days had passed. Calculating the time, in another 10 days, the three ancestors would send the small town back to where it should be. At the moment when the moon and sun origins alternated for the 4th time, a streak of light flew over from afar. Recently, many people had been coming to explore the small town, coming and going, so a streak of light wasn't strange at all. But Lin Moyu suddenly opened his eyes as if by premonition, and his spiritual sense sent out a faint warning. In the streak of light was a person in a black robe. Lin Moyu frowned. This black-robed person's aura was very similar to the one he encountered when killing Yen Bei.
Sure enough.
Without thinking, Lin Moyu lightly pointed his finger. Space distorted, and the skeleton hell appeared in response. Just as the skeleton hell appeared, the black-robed person's speed suddenly increased. The speed was so fast that even Lin Moyu felt shocked. The black-robed person seemed to teleport, crossing a distance of nearly 100,000 kilometers in less than 0.1 seconds, rushing into the small town. Lin Moyu was shocked inwardly.
This speed has already surpassed the 9th level of Tao Venerable.
He knew this wasn't the speed the black-robed person should have. The black-robed person's own aura wasn't even that of a 7th-level elder. He must have used some special treasure to instantly possess such speed. Lin Moyu felt somewhat helpless.
There's really no such thing as foolproof in this world.
Even he couldn't possibly cover all bases. There would always be a flaw even in the most perfect plan. Now that the person had entered the small town, Lin Moyu didn't follow in. He wanted to see what the other party could do. But he didn't just wait idly. Instead, he began to draw divine runes. Several divine runes flew out, forming a not-too-complex divine rune formation, about 4th grade. After the formation had been running for over 10 seconds, the three ancestors' voice suddenly came from within the formation.
How did you contact here?
The three ancestors' voice clearly carried surprise, showing shock that Lin Moyu could directly contact them. Lin Moyu said,
This formation isn't difficult. After looking at it a few times, I naturally learned it. The reason I'm contacting you is to let you know that someone rushed into the small town, not sure what they're going to do.
The three ancestors said.
What kind of person?
Lin Moyu said.
I don't know their identity. I've seen them once in the northern continent. Those people seem to be trying to oppose the Beast Emperor.
Lin Moyu recounted what had just happened, and the three ancestors couldn't help but fall into deep thought.